What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of today's Misguided Mentors. Wanted to jump on here really quick. I'm still trying to get the type of daily content that I want to put out. But in the meantime, it seems like the one and only Grant Cardone keeps making his way back into the news, back into the drama. And so I wanted to cover some of that today. Excuse me. And so I want to talk a little bit about the latest video that Aaron Smith Levin put out. There's a couple other people that put this out as well, talking about the latest news with some suspicion with Cardone Capital. And so I have not watched the video. I've watched like a little bit of it, but not enough information for me to really talk about or give my opinion on or even have a conversation about. So I thought I would just watch it and give you guys my real-time reaction and comments and jot down some notes and things that come to my mind. So let's get right into it, and let's not skip a beat. So let me get back to this. Here we go. All right, so let's do this. Here we go. All right, let's pay attention here and let's see what's going on here. And let's jump into what Aaron has to say about this latest news, all right?
Because Grant Cardone is one of the world's top recruiters and financiers, financial supporters of the human trafficking cult known as Scientology. And the name of this channel is Growing Up in Scientology. And the Scientology is why I do so much content about Grant Cardone. It just so happens that he is the gift that keeps on giving. Now, guys, 2 years and 4 months ago, I did a video called Cardone Capital Under Investigation. Scientologist Grant Cardone stole over $100 million from Cardone Capital investors. So I guess that last part was the name of the title of the video. The first part was the thumbnail of the video. In that video, I shared information that was given to me by one of the Cardone Capital whistleblowers. And here's just a screenshot from the video right here of some of the Cardone Capital properties and the purchase price, the undisclosed purchase price that Grant actually personally bought these properties for, and then flipped them to his investors. And I show how he basically front ran his own investors to the tune of at least $100 million. I also disclosed I can't remember if it was that video or a video I did shortly thereafter, that the FBI had actually been conducting a long-term covert investigation of Cardone Capital, using insiders, placing listening devices in key areas of the Cardone Capital offices, and collecting the trash, collecting the shredding. And like I said, guys, this was 2 years and 4 months ago. There has been a very real possibility this entire time that the feds dug as deep as they possibly could and did not find enough to build a case and to prosecute Cardone Capital. Well, I want to thank some new whistleblowers that have come forward and shared new information with me, and also shared the status of, well, let's just call it the investigations into Cardone Capital. And if this year is not the year Grant Cardone goes to prison, then this will be the year that he's indicted, and next year will be the year that he goes to prison. In my opinion, Grant, I have spent most of the day going through the evidence that has recently been shared with me, and it's bad. And I'm going to be going through this carefully and consulting with some people to decide what I can share with you guys and what I can't yet. But I will tell you this. When you have the Department of Justice, the Department of Homeland Security, yes, Homeland Security. We'll discuss what the hell the Department of Homeland Security cares about Grant Cardone for. When you've got the DOJ, the DHS, and the SEC all vying for pole position on who gets to be the one to put Grant Cardone behind bars, dare I say, Grant Cardone is fucked. In my humble opinion, Grant. And it's not just Grant Cardone. It's the entire multifamily Reg D industry. All these influencers who are raising hundreds of millions of dollars, if not billions of dollars, from unaccredited investors by a little bit of a loophole, not having to be as transparent with the regulatory agencies as they would otherwise, raising money from accredited investors. This is an industry that has just been rife with fraud. And for a while, my understanding is that the authorities have been, the regulators, the authorities, the federal agencies, have been somewhat content just to sit back and watch this industry implode. But it's come to the point where heads need to be put on a pike and investors need to be protected. And it is my belief that Grant Cardone will be the biggest head put on the pike, and that the entire multifamily Reg D industry will essentially come all but crashing down. It is my belief that almost all of Cardone Capital's investors have already lost almost all of their money, and they just haven't found out about it yet. Yeah. It's going to be a wild fucking year for Grant Cardone. This, by the way, in my opinion, guys, is why you see Grant Cardone trying to suck up so heavily to the new administration. It's why you see Grant Cardone trying to make a buddy out of the soon-to-be new director of the FBI, Kash Patel. It's why you guys might have noticed Grant Cardone seems to be making a very real threat to actually run for the governor of California. I think Grant Cardone is hoping to get some of that executive protection that there's been some recent Supreme Court decisions that basically protect the president from being prosecuted for pretty much anything a president does while in office. I get the sense that maybe Grant thinks that if he's governor of California, he's going to get that kind of protection or something, but that's not really the way it works, Grant. And, the only influence that Cardone has been able to get with anyone in the current administration is just the very superficial kind of influence that some money can buy. But Grant Cardone is so fuck you guys. And
okay, let me stop there for a second so I can chime in and keep caught up with some of this stuff. So this is quite interesting. Couple things. First of all, I just want to come out the gate and say that I also wouldn't care about Grant Cardone if God, what is going on with my exposure? Really quick, I look like a ghost right now, and I just noticed it. So let me see if I could fix. There we go. Why didn't anybody say that? I was like, what is going on? I have to constantly adjust my camera settings based on the time of the day. And so right now or the type of day. If it's sunny out, then I got to adjust it because my office is right in the front of the house. And so if it's a nice sunny day, then it changes everything. If it's a gloomy day, that changes everything. If it's nighttime, I got to turn the light on, and then that changes everything. So one of the technical things I'm trying to get used to is making sure that the settings are all dialed in before I start a podcast or any type of live stream. So anyways, I got to say that I also wouldn't care about Grant Cardone if, he wasn't harming anybody. In my opinion, I think he's harming people and hurting people, and based on my experience. And also the other thing is I wouldn't care if he wasn't part of one of the biggest and longest running cults out there. And Scientology, in fact, is that. And in my opinion, Scientology is also out there destroying people and brainwashing them and, manipulating people to serve their agenda. So I don't wish harm on the guy. But I do wish that those who are harming people, like in my opinion, Grant Cardone is doing, I wish for those people to be stopped at all costs and by whatever means necessary. So that's why I, like Aaron Smith Levin, talk about Grant as well. And by the way, if there was nothing going on in the news, I wouldn't even talk about Grant. You guys see me talking about a lot of different misguided mentors, a lot of different self-serving entrepreneurs. That's just one aspect of what the channel is about. The other aspect is actually educating people, particularly helping entrepreneurs identify misguided mentors, one, and two, navigate the self-development matrix. So that's the two things that this channel is for, is to call it like I see it and to help people and prepare them. That's it. And so it just so happens Grant is so active doing so many different things. He always ends up in the news. He always ends up with something that he's involved in that's dramatic. And so I wish he would stop so I could stop talking about him. But yes, I've also noticed also like Aaron that he has been kissing up to a lot of different politicians. He's also been buddying and rubbing elbows with certain politicians and potentially running for governor of California and all that shit. I always wonder what that's for. I think Aaron Smith Levin, I don't know why I keep calling him by his full entire name, but I think Aaron's onto something here. I think Grant ultimately is trying to protect himself in different areas, politics, government, FBI, if he can, even though he admitted to Gary Brecka that he was being investigated by the FBI, by agents posing as employees, which is kind of crazy. So, I mean, if you're being investigated, then there's definitely some eyebrows that should be raised and a closer look should be taken. So, but yeah, I've only personally known Grant to do things for personal reasons, for self-serving reasons more particularly. So if he's trying to be a politician, if he's trying to get in good with certain politicians and do all that, it's by my experience with his organization and him, that is the only thing he's trying to do is serve his agenda in some way. And if I had to guess, it's to protect himself from things that he may be doing that's unethical. Whether they're legal or illegal, who knows? A lot of these gurus like to dance in and out of the lines of legality. So I don't really like to get in the weeds with that too much. But anyways, let's figure out what else Aaron's got going on here on this stream that he did.
This is all completely in addition to the lawsuit that Gary Brecka has recently brought against Grant Cardone and Cardone Ventures. Now, Cardone Ventures is different from Cardone Capital, but there is a little bit of an overlap here in the current lawsuit, because even though Gary Brecka is suing Cardone Ventures, part of Gary's deal when Cardone Ventures acquired his business that then turned into 10X Fitness. Is it 10X Fitness or 10X Health? I always get it wrong. I think it's 10X Health. You guys can fact check me on that. Part of that compensation included a whole bunch of money that went directly into Cardone Capital. So whether Gary Brecka truly realizes it yet or not, it is my belief and my understanding that even as part of the discovery process of his lawsuit, remember the civil lawsuit, totally different from any criminal federal investigations. I believe Gary Brecka could probably get his hands on a treasure trove of documents for Cardone Capital. And that the civil action and the criminal action might be able to complement one another. By the way, guys, I did do a video with Gary Brecka, an interview with Gary Brecka about this lawsuit that basically nobody watched for some reason. I don't know why nobody watched this damn interview, but it is absolutely amazing. I'm going to go back and break out some segments so that people don't have to watch a whole 1 hour interview. But guys, of all the videos I've done about Grant Cardone on this channel, my interview with Gary Brecka, Grant Cardone's business partner, who's suing Gary and his wife for his lawsuit against Grant's wife is for $100 million for defamation. His lawsuit against Cardone Ventures and Brandon Dawson and Grant Cardone is for there's not a monetary amount attached to that lawsuit. This is one of the best videos I've ever done about Grant Cardone, guys. Watch it, please. It's amazing. Okay, let's see. What else do I want to say about that? That's probably it on the Cardone side. It's one of the reasons it's Sunday and it's 8:30 and I haven't done a video yet. I've been so much time preparing for other videos and going through the evidence that I was like, damn it, I was hoping to have something I was prepared to share tonight, but I wasn't. So I at least want to share that with you. Okay, so what is the Connor Cruz part of this video?
Okay. So apparently that was it. So that was nice and easy and quick and painless. So very cool. Yeah, that's actually funny. I didn't realize that his views on the Gary Brecka interview are very low comparatively to a lot of his other videos. That's quite interesting, actually. Who knows why? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I really don't know. That is interesting because yes, out of all the videos that he's done, it seems like to him, it feels like one of the best interviews he's ever done. And for some weird reason, it looks like he only had 15,000 views on that one. I think the interview I did with Aaron even had somewhere between 60 and 70,000 views last time I checked. So that is quite interesting. Matter of fact, let's take a look, actually. Let's look at Aaron's channel here. Even this stream that he did right now that I just reviewed had 17,000. Let's see, where's the one with him and Gary Brecka? Okay, wow, yeah, it only has 15,000, and that was done 10 days ago. This one with Grant that I just went over was done less than a day ago. It was done yesterday, and it got 17. It got more than the one with Gary Brecka. That is quite fascinating, actually. I don't know why. I'm curious how many views the podcast I did with him. 63,000 views for the podcast and the live that I did with Aaron. If you haven't seen that, go check that one out. That was a fascinating conversation. That was done a while ago. Oh, look, almost a year ago, so 11 months ago. A lot of changes have happened since then, and who knows? Maybe I can get back on back on Aaron's podcast channel so that we can revisit the conversation. There's quite a bit of more to tell, especially with these new developments with Gary and other things that are happening with Cardone Capital. So, anyways. Oh, I thought I was sharing the screen there. I guess I wasn't sharing the screen. Let me do that. I felt bad. I feel like you guys were. I was trying to show you guys something and you weren't even seeing it. So, anyways, I was just looking at the video I did with him. 63,000 views, and that was about a year ago, which is relatively low compared to some of his. I mean, he's got one that's got 3 million with Lex Friedman, and he's got quite a bit of views on some of these. But what I was showing was the one he did yesterday has 17,000 views, and then the one he did with Gary that he claims is probably one of the best interviews he's ever done got 15,000 views in 10 days. That's quite low compared to, I mean, a lot of his stuff. So that is quite interesting. Who knows? I mean, you never know why the algorithm does that, why it doesn't perform in ways it should is a head scratcher to me too. So I just keep putting content out there. I'm new to the game too, so I'm excited to see how things kind of, the hills and valleys of this process. And but anyways, going back to that video, really not much to talk about there other than there was some exposure to, maybe I should go back and look at that original video that he did on where he originally got some paperwork. Did I show that? I don't know if I showed that. Let me see.
Make a buddy out of
Okay. Did I not go back far enough for this?
Whistleblowers. And here's just a screenshot from the video right here.
So he showed this
undisclosed purchase price.
Maybe I should go back and watch that video where it kind of breaks down, all the properties that he bought, Cardone Capital's price, and then the profit it shows. God dang, he got 17 million, 23 million on a couple of these. That's quite crazy. So I'm kind of naive to that. I think what originally is happening is from what I understood is Grant is, this is what I was showing you guys. But I think what's happening here is he's basically coming up with the money to buy these properties and then selling and flipping them essentially and selling them for a higher price, but making it seem as though he hasn't bought the property yet. So if it's for sale for $133K and then he's selling it for $157,000, he's basically, $157 million, $133 million, and then says it's for sale for $157 million. He's going to pocket $23 million, fundraising and getting other people to invest in that. So I think that's what's going on from what is being explained. Again, not too knowledgeable on that, and I haven't even watched that video, so maybe I should go check it out just to get a little more knowledgeable. So what does this mean? First of all, what this means is, first of all, I'll keep you posted on this case. Like, it's not a case, obviously, But I'm going to keep you posted on the news whether or not Grant Cardone is in fact getting in some hot water with the legality side of it with Cardone Capital. Or anything like that. You know, one thing I've noticed about Grant is he's really good at hiding behind the company veils. He's really good at having people like Brandon Dawson and his wife Elena and Natalie Dawson and Ryan Secco. He's good, and Jared Glant. They're all good. He's good at having them be the front man. Like one thing the gurus are good at is having a fall person. And they'll do anything, include take the heat and take the fall for Grant. This actually reminds me of when I did the same thing, unfortunately, when if you guys ever seen that podcast where I was talking with Matt Cox on Inside True Crime. If you haven't seen that, check that one out. That was a really good conversation. Matter of fact, I'll show you guys so you know what it looks like. It's weird because I posted that or shared that post on my channel, but you can't see it, and I don't know how that works, but go check this interview out. Really good interview with me and Matt. Matt's such a solid guy, and so ever since then, we've been staying connected, and he's been such a good friend and just a good-hearted guy. And so the conversation was really interesting, but can't believe, the reason I brought that up, again, I didn't share my screen. All right, there it is. So yeah, this interview right here is what I was talking about. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It was a really good conversation. I think it was like 2.5 hour long conversation. So I felt like I could keep talking. It was such a good podcast. So anyways, going back to what I said, the reason I brought that up was because on that podcast, I talked about my first business venture when I quit being a carpenter. I used to build sunrooms for a living for 10 years. And when I quit that company that I worked for that entire time, I went into an illegal marijuana grow operation because I was chasing money and was following someone who was a misguided mentor. It was someone who I had done work for. I actually built her a sunroom years prior to that, like 8 years prior to that, and then ended up staying connected with her and doing some side work for her at her home. The next thing you know, I went into business with her, quit my job, and she kind of brainwashed me into pretty much being the fall person for that business as well, where I lived on site, took all the heat, everything was in my name, $6,000 power bill was in my name. The location was all in my name, it was leased to me. And so I was I idolized her so much and took her mentorship so much that I was willing to take the heat, put myself in jeopardy, jeopardize my freedom, jeopardize going to prison, jeopardize my time with my daughter. It was really stupid. And so anyways, I'm bringing that up because I touched base on that story a little bit. And it's part of my journey. Unfortunately, I made some bad mistakes, and that's all the whole part of misguided mentorship. And that's why I wrote that first book, The Misguided Mentor, to talk about that journey, about how I just made stupid decisions as a kid because I was following the wrong person, thought that someone else had the answers for me, someone had the guidance for me, and I was always misguided. So anyways, what's up, Kat? How you doing? Yes. She has that list. Exactly. Pretty sure it's the same list, the Reserve or the Ormond. Yeah, I seen Ormond Beach on there, which in case you guys didn't know, Kat was a tenant at 10X Ormond Beach, which is owned by Grant Cardone. It was on that list I just showed you. And she's got a crazy story about how, it's a slumlord story. Grant Cardone is not a very good landlord to say, and that's putting it mildly. But she's got a terrible story that, involved her going through a lot of shit and a lot of heartache because of the way Grant Cardone and the RPM Living, who he hired to manage that place, is running things, and the neglect and the it's just crazy over there, and all those buildings is quite crazy. But anyways, I'm probably gonna hop off here. I'm still trying to figure out if or what time and what topics I'm going to be talking about daily Right now, I'm just trying to stay consistent and frequent and hopping on here and making sure I get some videos out there. Yesterday was a really good one because I was actually educating people and sharing my experience and what I think some of the mistakes I made and some of the mistakes I see commonly made when people network or go to a public speaking event. So if you have not seen that video, check it out. Maybe I'll put it in the recommended spot when I post this video, but it was a pretty good, if you're an entrepreneur, I think it's valuable for you to check this out because some of the stuff I talked about, you may have experienced already, or you're just not aware of. So it's at least good for you to check it out with an open mind and just hear me out on what I'm saying, because it's important to be aware of these things when you're putting yourself in an environment that can be predatory, unpredictable. And so that's pretty much all I have to say to that. Anyways, I am going to hop off here. And yes, what's up, Kat? Let's do one together when you have time. I'm not sure what you mean. Maybe a video, an interview, something like that. But yeah, of course, we should definitely hop on another one at some time soon. I'm actually getting people. I'll put you on the list for sure, Kat, because I think right now I have a growing list of people where I'm going to start doing some live interviews on this channel, on the YouTube channel, since that's the direction I'm trying to go primarily. And I still don't, which means I have to use a different software than the software I'm using right now, which means I got to get used to two different softwares. And StreamYard's probably going to be the one I'm going to use for the interviews. And so I gotta get used to that and familiarize myself with that before I just jump into it. And so bear with me. Yes, absolutely. We're definitely going to do a live chat. I think it'd be really good for you to come on and have a conversation with me again and talk about your experience, give our thoughts on stuff that we've both been kind of investigating, if you will. And kind of go from there. Let people hear and discern for themselves. But anyways, I'm gonna hop off here. I will chat with you later, Kat, and anybody else that's listening on the Instagram page. Don't go anywhere. I'll chat with you in a second. Let me wrap this up. Like I said, if you guys have not seen the video I did yesterday, check it out. It was really good. I feel like it was really good. I got a lot of good and positive feedback from people even after I ended that live stream as well. So. Other than that, you guys have a fantastic rest of your Monday. Have a kick-ass week. And I'll probably see you guys either later today or tomorrow, all right? Take care.